Hello and welcome to the lunch edition of MBC News. I am Mupile Kaisa. The headlines. President Mutharika and First Lady Madam Gertrude Mutharika in Lilongwe for official engagements. Science and technology experts describe poor coordination among innovation and technology players in Malawi as a key factor behind the sector's setbacks. And Competition and Fair Trading Commission warns traders against exploitation of consumers during this festive season. And now the news in detail. President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika and the First Lady Madam Gertrude Mutharika are in Lilongwe. The first couple arrived in Lilongwe last evening from Blantyre. Upon arrival, the first couple was welcomed by a huge crowd gathered on the sides of the streets from Bunda roundabout, Waka Waka, all the way to Nchesi. And on their arrival at Kamuzu Palace, they were welcomed by government officials, party representatives and some more wishes. Details in this report.
From Sanchika Palace in Blantyre, President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika and the First Lady Madam Gertrude Mutharika travelled through the M1 road to Lilongwe. From Blantyre City, Lunzu, Ndeka, Kampepuza and other areas, people gathered in the streets to show love to the first couple. Upon arrival in Lilongwe, the streets were filled with people to welcome President Mutharika to the capital city. People lined up from Bunda Turnoff roundabout, Waka Waka, all the way through Nchesi. At the Kamuzu Palace entrance, President Mutharika was welcomed by government and DPP party officials and other well-wishers. The happy faces, cheering and singing compelled the Malawi leader to stop and greet the crowd. This is the first time for President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika to reside at the Kamuzu Palace, the official state residence, since ascending to power following the 16th September general election victory. Beatrice Juma, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Agricultural Development and Marketing Corporation (ADMAC) is hinting at investing more in value addition on its various products for both local and export markets to generate revenue. ADMAC Chief Executive Officer Ben Botolo made the remarks at the end of his tour at Ngabu Cotton Ginnery in Chikwawa. Details in this report.
Speaking after his maiden tour of East Ngabu Cotton Ginnery, ADMAC Chief Executive Officer Ben Botolo expressed confidence that the grain marketer has the potential to significantly contribute to the country's economy through value addition to various agricultural produce from local farmers.
We need to work hard to ensure that some of the products, either it's lint or it's the seed, we need to add more value addition. We can do value addition because once these things are exported as they are, we import them in one way or another. So we need to have the import substitution.
Ngabu Cotton Ginnery in Chikwawa has a capacity of processing 60 metric tons of raw cotton, which translates to between 80 to 100 bales of cotton lint per day, depending on the cotton quality. Botolo expressed concern that despite having modern and advanced ginnery, the company is still not meeting the high demand of cotton and other related products needed on the market due to low cotton production by the local farmers.
For example, this year, the potential was the ADMAC was given a portion of 10,000 metric tons to be purchased by ADMAC. But ADMAC has only taken up 1,133 tons only. Why? Because there's no cotton on the market. So no one is actually meeting whatever they agreed on cotton, the Association of Cotton Guys. So what we need to do is, look, We cannot be just saying we need 10,000 to buy. If we can grow our own and buy, then we may have that 10,000 cotton. But again, we need some seeds to invest a lot in the seed, high quality yielding seeds in cotton.
Value addition is part of the state produce traders' export value, with a focus on generating revenue to boost the country's economy. Chisomo Break, MBC News, Chikwawa.
Mangochi District Council has committed to ensuring smooth implementation of the ongoing Farm Input Subsidy Program, FISIP. Speaking during the program's stakeholders interface meeting, Director of Agriculture for Mangochi District Council, Nditani Maluwa, said currently fertilizer redemption rate stands at about 33% in the district. We have a report by Geoffrey Shinawa.
In the 2025-2026 growing season, about 82,000 farming households are benefiting from FISIP in Mangochi. To monitor how the beneficiaries are accessing the inputs, the District Council, through its Directorate of Agriculture, organized a FISIP stakeholders interface meeting. According to the district's Director of Agriculture, Nditani Maluwa, despite minor challenges, the program is progressing smoothly.
Yeah, we are very excited with the outcome of the meeting. Yeah, we had everybody here, representatives of the Ministry of Agriculture, we had our senior traditional authorities. We also had the representatives of the Smallholder Farmers Fertilizer Growing Fund of Malawi, and our government staff, the civil society organizations. I can say almost everybody was represented. So all the issues that we had have been raised and discussed, and we have agreed on action points. Our expectation is that everybody is going to take those actions seriously, and we are going to implement them and to ensure that the program pace is improved and we succeed.
One of the participants of the meeting is Senior Chief Joe.
We are very happy that this meeting has afforded to give us some of the solutions that we had smallholder, which is a key stakeholder in this, and they have assured us that some of the problems will be solved. In that way, we are going to have solutions to our problem.
Mangochi District has about 30 FISIP selling points across the areas. Geoffrey Shinawa, MBC News, Mangochi.
A recent study by the Malawi Live Welcome Trust has raised concern over waste management in Durande Township in Blantyre. The findings link poor disposal of waste, especially thin plastics, to serious health and climate risks for residents. Ruth Chinangwa reports.
A study conducted by the Malawi Live Welcome Trust reveals that poor waste management, especially widespread use and disposal of thin plastics, is contributing to blocked drainage systems, increased flooding, and spread of diseases, among other social problems. Kirsten Kola is one of the research assistants at MLW.
We found out that a lot of people really don't know the connection between plastic pollution and health, as well as the overall impact on the environment. The other thing that we also suggested together with the stakeholders was to promote circular economies, where people in Durande and such kind of places can work together to turn the waste into something that can generate income for them, like in recycling, producing composite in terms of the organic waste and other products that they can make from the plastic waste. We also suggested making bylaws work in the areas, because from the studies we also discovered that a lot of residents don't even know what there are laws that govern waste management in Malawi. So we highlighted that it is important that stakeholders, including the authorities, make these laws public, so that people do know that waste management has its own ways of how it should be handled.
For residents, the impact is already being felt. In March 2023, Lone Mwanduzi recounts how she lost her 3 children and grandchildren to Cyclone Freddy.
About 2023, but 12 March, naluza ana 5.
It was on the night of 12 March 2023 when I lost my children. My daughter was the first to cry out for help. "Mother, I am dying." She had been trapped beneath a fallen wall. Residents rushed to save her, but it was too late. She died on the spot. My son and his wife were also found dead. The calamity went on to claim the lives of 2 of my grandchildren. I will never forget what happened.
Tinapita kumulanje kuweka matupi ananga. Moyo ngozi imeneyi pa moyo wanga inandikhuza kwambiri chifukwa ndi ngozi yoti sindisayiwala moyo wanga wonse.
The study further recommended stronger efforts of waste management policies, reduced use of thin plastics, and greater community involvement in sustainable waste disposal. This is why youth organizations such as the Community Impact are standing up, turning waste into business opportunities while protecting the environment. Naftali Zeffert, coordinator for Community Impact, says by collecting organic waste from households and markets, the youths are producing compost manure, creating income opportunities while reducing the volume of waste dumped in the community.
It's very important, more especially to the people of Ndilande. As you know, Ndilande is one of the densely populated areas with high accumulation of waste. So some research shows that about 70% and above % of accumulated waste is being unmanaged. So the intervention in waste management will help to minimize the cases of cholera outbreak and also to beautify the area.
As Malawi grapples with climate change and rapid urbanization, the findings from Ndirande underline the need for coordinated solutions from policy enforcement to community awareness to address the growing plastic problem. Ruth Chinangwa, MBC News, Blantyre.
You are watching the lunch edition of MBC News. A reminder of our top stories. President Mutharika and First Lady Madam Gertrude Mutharika in Lilongwe for official engagements. Science and technology experts describe poor coordination among innovation and technology players in Malawi as a key factor behind the sector's setbacks. And Competition and Fair Trading Commission warns traders against exploitation of consumers during this festive season. Welcome back. Technical Entrepreneur and Vocational Educational Training Authority, TVETA, and the National Commission for Science and Technology have identified poor coordination among Malawi's innovation and technology players as a key factor behind the sector's setbacks. NCST Director General Gift Kazamira and TVETA Director of Finance Sarah Ziambo made the remarks during the establishment of the Multisectoral Innovation Committee, which is expected to bridge the coordination gaps among the key players. Catherine Band has filed this report.
According to NCST Director General Gift Kazamila, Malawi's innovation ranking at the global level is currently at 125, a situation she linked to poor coordination between the key players. Kazamila said in the current status, innovation industry players in Malawi work in isolation, making it hard to show solid achievements and to document the efforts for international reporting, hence the poor rank. She added that, on the other hand, poor coordination affects the provision of support to innovators, noting that in some cases, a number of institutions end up supporting a single individual, a support that could have assisted many others.
All the actors in the innovation sector come together, look at the challenges and find ways and means of addressing those challenges. Because if we don't address those challenges, we'll continue to duplicate efforts lose out resources in terms of maybe experts, in terms of money. So we want to do it in a coordinated way so that those challenges are, addressed. And at the end of the day, we are able to, do better.
DVETA Director of Finance, Sala Ziambo, said they believe that having a properly coordinated committee to oversee matters of innovation across all ministries, departments, and the private sector will help boost the industry for national development. Ziambo argued that Malawi has many innovators with great capacity who remain unrecognized due to poor coordination, and that with the committee in place, such problems will be resolved.
There's been little impact on the progress or where those innovations have ended because it was fragmented. So coming in today to this workshop, it is very important because then we are bringing everybody into one place where there will be coordinated efforts, there will be sharing of ideas, and as a framework or a network, there will be a lot of progress than what we have been doing in the past.
The committee, among other things, aim to enhance innovative skills through inclusive support, spotlight all innovators in the country, and promote innovation documentation for easier reporting and improved global ranking. Catherine Banda, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Journalists in the country have been challenged to be ambassadors of goodwill by writing positive stories that can attract investors and tourists to Malawi. Information Minister Shadrack Namalomba made the call during the annual general meeting of Blantyre Press Club held at Grace Bandawe in Blantyre. Namalomba also took time to appreciate the role journalists play in promoting the thriving democracy, peace and unity.
You see, journalism is a profession in the first place, and those that call themselves journalists, therefore are professionals. And because it is a profession, it must have its own ethics and standards. And it is through those ethics and standards that we can also use to promote and sell our country, tell good stories about our country. So my coming here and being guest of honor was one, to encourage them to continue to write stories, to continue to be ambassadors of Malawi. Yes, there are challenges, we know that, particularly now in the digital era. But nevertheless, they have got a very important role to play, particularly now that we have the Malawi 2063, which is the vision of the whole country, where we all aspire to be self-reliant but also inclusive of wealth by 2063 countries. But also following from there, we have the DBB Manifesto, which also maps the way for us to get to 2063 by embracing digitalization as the foundation for the economic development, economic emancipation that this country seeks to achieve.
On his part, General Secretary for Blantyre Press Club, Yusuf Daisa, commended government for promoting open dialogue and continued support to the media industry.
As we know, journalists will have a critical role to play as far as this fast evolving digital era is concerned. This also prompted us to choose this theme, promoting justice, unity and peace to achieve social and economic development in Malawi. We know that there are sort of a lot of fake news as well as unverified information that circulate on social media. So we realize that journalists has a role to play to make sure that they balance such kind of information so that we maintain peace and unity in Malawi.
Mbelwa District Council has attributed increasing cases of suicide among men to failure to open up and report gender-based violence incidences perpetuated against them. Mzimba North Gender Officer under Mbelwa District Council, Peter Nyondo, said this in Mzuzu during a GBV awareness campaign organized by Mzuzu Feminomics Hub as part of 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. Rodoviko Nyirenda with the details.
The Muzuzu Feminomics Hub has raised awareness about gender-based violence in the city of Muzuzu as part of the commemoration of 16 days of activism against GBV, which internationally begins on 25th November and ends on the 10th December every year. Speaking at Vigwagwa Market in Muzuzu, Muzimba North Gender Officer Peter Nyondo said their office has been receiving more physical violence than cyberbullying cases this year. Nyondo further said failure to report GBV cases is fueling suicide cases, particularly among men in the district.
So cases of GBV are on the rise recently. We have seen and heard of people being victimized because of who they are. We have seen women being beaten by their husbands. We have seen girls being beaten or being blackmailed by their boyfriends to say, you have to send me your pictures where you are naked. So these are some of the cases that are happening in Mzimba North, and it is a worrisome to the government because they are on the rise, which leads to cases like people committing suicide.
An executive member from Muzuzu Feminomics Hub, Dorothy Kowani, said they have noted the challenges experienced by men and will continue raising awareness on the matter.
It has shown that most men are the victims of gender-based violence. So it's high time that these men, they should know where to report. If such cases has been happened to them, they should go and report.
Secretary for Vigwagwa Market in Muzuzu, Emily Chavura, said the message will help in reducing GBV within families in Muzuzu. Meanwhile, police in Muzuzu have urged married men to report domestic violence cases perpetuated by their wives. Muzuzu Feminomics Hub is implementing advocating for economic system and public service delivery to uplift women and girls project with the support from Action Aid. Rodoviko Nyirenda, MBC News, Muzuzu.
Traders have been warned against exploitation of customers during this festive season. The development comes following increased commercial activity and spending during the festive season, where consumers engage in impulse buying, thereby creating room for exploitation. In a statement issued by the Competition and Fair Trading Commission, CFTC, states that the festive season spending sometimes is accompanied by widespread violation of consumer rights and has therefore urged consumers to be cautious and be aware of their rights. Innocent Helema is the Commission spokesperson.
They must always insist on a valid receipt for every purchase that they make. A receipt is the vital piece of evidence if a dispute arises. They also need to check for expiry dates by carefully examining the expiry dates on all, especially perishable goods that they buy for holiday gatherings. They shouldn't just rush to buy goods. They also need to beware of misleading pricing. They also, where they think that their rights have been violated, they must demand redress. Say if a product is defective or a service is substandard, they have a right to a refund, a replacement, or repair. Do not accept no refund on sell items policy if the goods are faulty. For online shopping platforms, consumers must verify the reputation of the seller and understand their return and refund policy before making any payment. Traders must not take advantage of high demand during the holidays to charge excessively high prices for goods or services. Prices must be justifiable and reflect legitimate production costs. False or misleading advertising. On this one, traders must not make false claims about quality, standard, price, or origin of their products. Traders must also not sell substandard or unsafe products. These are expired, defective products that do not meet health safety and quality standards.
TEM organization is celebrating 21 years of transformative service in Usisi and Katape district with a strong focus on education, health and agriculture. Speaking during the commemoration, the organization's country program director, Kondwani Bota, highlighted key achievements including the construction of school blocks, hostels, establishment of CBCCs, provision of bursaries and support to the health sector. George Mkandawira reports.
The celebrations started with a big walk, pavilion inspection, speeches, among others. Usisi town, as many other lakeshore towns in Malawi, faces many challenges from health, education to agriculture sectors due to its terrain and state of the road. According to TEM Organization Program Director Kondwani Bota, the area still needs more partners to come in to alleviate some of the problems communities face every day. But he was quick to mention that their organization has reached to over 25,000 farmers with modern farming systems alongside tree planting initiatives aimed at promoting environmental conservation and food security.
We have worked with 36 primary schools in the whole Katape area, in Katape North, supporting early grade reading, but also senior classes in standards 6, 7 and 8. That has also improved in terms of pass rate for primary school learners to secondary school, but we have also made sure that in secondary schools we have supported bursary students. As we speak, over 5,000 learners, we have supported them under the bursaries education program.
Senior Chief Mbwana of Nkarabe commended TEMWA as a sole organization working in Usisia for various projects aimed at uplifting lives of people in Usisia and surrounding areas. District Community Development Officer for Nkarabe, Jacob Omoloko, has since described TEMWA as a true partner in community development, governance, among others.
Because livelihoods have improved. People are able to earn money because they are able to farm and produce, as they have been trained with a lot of climate-sensitive agriculture practices. However, there are challenges, yes, as you are saying, because TEMWA, as a sole organization here, the area is too vast and there are a lot of needs and issues in relation to development.
Access to Usisia remains a major challenge as the road leading to the area is in poor state, making travel a nightmare for residents, development partners and service providers. George Nkandawire, MBC, Usisia.
And that's it from our newsroom this afternoon. But before we leave, a recap of our headlines. President Mutharika and First Lady Madam Gertrude Mutharika in Lilongwe for official engagements. Science and technology experts describe poor coordination among innovation and technology players in Malawi as a key factor behind the sector's setbacks. And Competition and Fair Trading Commission warns traders against exploitation of consumers during this festive season. Keep up to date with our news coverage on our digital platforms by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. You were with me, Upile Kaisa. Thanks for watching. Good afternoon.